If you ever sat down after telling yourself, today is the day I'm finally going to study for that exam, only to struggle to sit still and avoid going on your phone every 2 minutes, this video is for you. If you're a student who has had to build study skills from the ground up, you'll realize that you're not just fighting regular study resistance, you're actually going up against years of never being taught how to study effectively. It could be that you were never taught the proper structure and planning skills which are required for good study habits. Whatever the case might be, you're here now trying to build those academic habits from scratch. So let me help you with that. I want to show you the exact framework that I use to study or even work when I have zero motivation, and why traditional motivation fails a lot of people, especially people who are just starting their academic journey. By the end of this video, you'll have 3 specific techniques you can use today, even if you're running on fumes and your motivation tank is just completely empty. But before I give you those 3 techniques, here's what you need to understand about studying with no motivation. It actually has nothing to do with motivation at all. It's about tolerance. Think of motivation like the weather. Unpredictable, completely out of your control, and definitely not something you want to base your entire academic career on. Remember when I mentioned that tolerance is the real key? What I meant by that was that you need to have tolerance for being bored. Our attention span has been nuked by dopamine drip feeds since most of us can remember. The second we feel flat, we panic scroll Reddit or TikTok. It's been so normalized that most of us aren't even aware of the problem, which is staring us right in the eye. I used to sit down to study, and within 5 minutes, I'd be scrolling on my phone, not because I wanted to procrastinate, but because my brain literally couldn't handle that discomfort of focusing. Studying was really, really hard. I see other students studying and wonder why the hell I was so incapable of paying attention. What that left me with was this constant feeling of failure and disappointment in myself. Let me save you the trouble of experiencing those feelings. The solution to this is to set that damn timer. Start with just 5 minutes of pure boredom before you even open your textbook. Set the timer, sit there, no podcasts, no lo-fi beats, and definitely no TikTok ASMR knife cutting. Just the chair, the wall, and you. And yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Exactly like when you start going to the gym at first and, I don't know, working on your push-ups, right? Doesn't feel good, you can't do more than 2, but as you do it more and more, it becomes easy and you start to enjoy it because you get good enough at it to enjoy it. This works for students building their study habits from the ground up because we're teaching our brains a new skill from scratch. Think of this as a principle you need to be able to apply in order to study. Your classmates might have learned delayed gratification through years of structured environments or had someone teaching them focus techniques. After a week, increase it to 10 minutes. Within a month, you'll find that study feels less painful because you've literally trained your brain to tolerate the discomfort. This is how you build the foundation that others might have gotten earlier. You're just constructing it as an adult instead of a kid, and that's totally okay. Also, bonus, if you want to further understand how quick hits of dopamine are so detrimental to our focus, I'd recommend this amazing book called Dopamine Nation by Anne Lemke. If you ever find yourself in a position where you can't seem to focus, it's not usually because of the lack of motivation, it's because you don't actually understand what you're trying to learn. An indicator that you understand a topic well is when you can explain it clearly and concisely. Here's what I do now that helps me. I pretend like I'm teaching the material to a 5-year-old who just asked, "But why?" for the 3rd time in a row. If I can't shrink the whole idea down to something he could repeat while holding a half-eaten cookie in his fist, like, genes are tiny instructions in every cell that tell your body how tall to grow, what color eyes to make, and whether your tongue can roll up like a little taco, then I don't actually understand it. Period. If you don't want to talk to an imaginary person or have no one to teach, just boot up your favorite chatbot and force them to listen to you. Teach them a quadratic formula. What are they gonna do about it? Also, bonus, say the dumb stuff out loud. The Cold War was just two kids arguing in separate bedrooms and daring the other to come and swing first. Assigning fun and ridiculous stories you can visualize while studying really helps your brain remember them. Think of trying to grind solo, kind of like trying to tickle yourself into submission. Your brain sees you coming every single time and refuses to feel a thing. What you need is an accountability buddy, which is basically just an externalized conscience who can guilt trip you into submission. They don't need to be someone you care for or you're even friends with, just someone to radiate quiet disappointment. You bail after 20 minutes, they sigh, and suddenly you're back at your desk studying. Peer pressure isn't just for beer pong. Keep in mind that this doesn't need to be someone in person. Even scheduling a virtual study session works. The point is breaking that isolation that makes everything feel impossible and having someone who can just hold you accountable. Remember that these aren't some magic beans. These techniques aren't going to transform you overnight into someone who loves studying. That's just not realistic, and anyone who promises that is lying to you. What they will do is actually help you get through your work even when you'd rather do literally anything else. Personally, I went from wanting to do anything but study and struggling to just get started without first going on my phone to being completely okay with working even when I'm just feeling anything but. Here's a challenge for you. Pick one of these techniques and try it just for 1 week. Not all 3, that's too much. Just one. Remember, you're not broken, you're not lazy, you're learning skills from scratch that you didn't just have the luxury of learning earlier, and that's completely okay. Be patient with yourself, but also start today. Even if it's just 5 minutes of sitting with boredom, that's still 5 minutes more than yesterday, and those 5 minutes will help you in the long run.